Yeah. Just said a prayer for all of my enemies. Could see the value in things that give them security is all in jeopardy. I took on training in yin yang. I just been balancing energy. I know that you gon' remember me. All that I taught you is stored in your memory. Watching the matrix break. My mind used to be a prison. I done made a great escape. I found relief and release and peace, and that been my saving grace. Now I've been playing for keeps. They keep trying to change the pace. It's only one me, it's only one you. Nobody could take your place. Watching social media become the norm in the media. Got you moving like a clown now, you a local comedian. Hardly doing what you like, you only one likes, you hoping they seeing it. Lying in hopes they believe in it, all in your stories, you know that it's corny, but you get the validation from attention. You got options, DM popping, but when it come to real, I'm who you mention. When another plan, they went offensive, they don't understand, so they defensive. I think they need to go open their chakras, I think they need to go focus their senses, hoping you meant it, cause you'll never get that me again. I'm just the type of force that you won't see again. Think you be better off, go ahead be it then. I gave you blind faith, wasn't seeing it. I was in flow state, you ain't see them in. Know your role fake and you don't wanna see me when I gave the truth to you when you seen it. And shouldn't be news to you, this ain't seeing it. Man in the mirror is who I'm competing with. Succeeding and focus on self now, Leo, so you know I'm coming with fire. Just watching haters have a meltdown, come to the fame, they let it be sire. So they soul is on sale now. Is Flo retired or is he just quiet? They can hardly even tell now.
You are watching a master.
Heard you looking for me, you needed some more inspiration, but I'm busy working on this mastery, a different class and league. I got the information to deliver something that I'm never done with. No oppressors hunting for my liberation, no consideration for the way I made it through the matrix. I ain't
Hey, yeah, this is my common flow ain't common though. I'm a Commodore, these niggas more dominoes. Saturn return, got me feeling like it's time to go. So I'm staring in the magic mirror like dominoes. Come along, you know this your favorite song, baby. Whip a Toyota in my mind, it's a new Mercedes. Sober lately, been trying to get it together, pouring way more in myself. The rain cannot stop this. Ain't rocking these crystals for optics, not a magic at play like Hogwarts. You know that we at war, so I'm loaded and mad focused like God wrote this. I add dosage of that dope shit, ain't no more hoping. Heart open, purse the beat like surgery till they heard of me. The urgency of leaving this planet didn't occur to me. The 17 dark dreams and odd things happened in reality. That was not me. Fuck that. Toe tags and dirty rags to riches, mad stitches, but the pain made me strong. So when the vision came along, wasn't nothing to write me a new song. Transmuted into righting my wrongs, and now we gone. The worst thing you could ever ask is how long. When the time come along, you'll know it. Real gem from a poet, myself who I owe it to. Even when shit uncomfortable, remember to change the view.
Another lecture, ain't no pressure for these peons. By the time they catch up, homie, we gone. Fly out the sky, get you high like the weed strong. Beast to the grave, damn day, we be on. 10 years plus, like car seats, I'm strapped in. Never gotta worry what'd happen if I tapped in. Now I'm the captain, I steer the ship. Saturn return, let it burn, look more, not a spirit rich. I got a fever pitch, living out of Boston. Women kind of view, stunning Steve Austin. Virgo moon, temperament is classic, but walking through my 12 is like tripping off on acid. We got an army of light, you not staring us. Light workers came here to fight, word to Aquarius. I do my shit in the sky, you know it, man. Slap a fool, call me Gemini, man.
These spirits sneaky and shiesty, man, don't you ever. These days I'm wearing a shiesty, man, what's the weather? They ain't aware of the current, they may not never. And if I don't be a vessel, I'm gone forever. My manifestations tell her to stick together. Creating culture and history, it's a level. We gon' fix it with your ticket, we bout to scan you in. Yeah, he creeping, we be peeping, what type of man you is. Pretty decent enough, she fine as hell, I give her kids. Fill up like people, I'm just trying to say what Faunus did. I live indigenous, you know my what's her name. I live indigenous, you know my what's her name. I live indigenous, you know my what's her name. Keep that bullshit to the wind, we gotta come together. Mama creating this situation for us to shepherd. You niggas gotta be honest about what you into. They hate it when it's not on you and it is in you. It's not what you do, it's how you do, make it sinful. I never hate on the rapper getting his rent due. But don't you damage yourself and make it an issue. See, don't won't be around for this, boo. I'll be I'll be so why you hating and you taking down my page? I must have struck a nerve, I know you feel away. Shouts out to Terran, I don't mean no harm, okay. I point to stop you. to start which way to way. You say I ain't a stopper, yet we sharing space. Don't let me unleash my load, the track still here to say. And keep a spiritual helmet for your mistakes. Right away.
With this time and I'm on, can't fuck with this rhyming I'm on. Seen them talk, now all of them gone. Seen that dog, I gave it a bone. They like, what is he on? On God, all you my sons. On God, I kill you for fun. On God, there can only be one. Call me Unc, now watch me walk it out. It's on sight, we blast, not talk it out. Kill you goofies, fuckers you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you talking about. 26-year-old dropout. Made 6 figures when I clocked out. Mama said, get my degree, got that with a breeze. Now I rock when my cock out.
Put it on God, put it on Jesus, put it on Yah, put it on Bezel, put it on Allah, put it on Reason, put it on I, put it on We, put it on God, put it on Shiva, put it on Ra, put it on Edith. See the facade and I leave it. Death isn't one, it'll come in a 3.
Another soul I'm out here slaying. Another body out there decaying. Another false god y'all obeying. Another lie getting paraded. Live the truth, watch me demonstrate it. Showed you love even though you hate it. Know the day that your death is faded. I'll make sure that I never say it. Really, I'm not the one to play with. When I knock on that door, it's time to let go. Just give me your soul. I sever that cord, you lose the control. I'm racking up spirits, they racking up dough. Dealing that piece on the low. I cheat on my goals, my words really go. Got more than enough, but it's time to get more.
Put it on God, put it on Jesus, put it on Yah, put it on Bezel, put it on Allah, put it on Reason, put it on I, put it on We, put it on God, put it on Shiva, put it on Ra, put it on Eve. Facade and I leave it. Death isn't one, it'll come in a 3. Please just
call me Unc, now watch me walk it out. It's on sight, we blast, not talk it out. Kill you goofies, fuck is you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you talk about. 34-year-old tapped in, driver's seat, I'm strapped in. Serving all over your lane, I must be insane. Dying, I'm laughing.
put it on God, put it on Jesus, put it on Yah, put it on Bezel, put it on Allah, put it on Reason, put it on I, put it on We, put it on God, put it on Shiva, put it on Ra, put it on Edith. See the facade and I leave it. Death isn't one, it'll come in a 3.
Can't fuck with this time and I'm on. Can't fuck with this rhyming I'm on. Seen them talk, now all of them gone. Seen that dog, I gave it a bone. They like, what is he on? On God, all you my sons. On God, I kill you for fun. On God, it could only be.
Welcome to your new moon in Aquarius ceremony. I split the deck. We got the Ace of Wands, baby. A flaming, throbbing dick. For some of you ladies, a dick pic. Hopefully not unsolicited. So we clearly have very passionate new beginnings. And I am very grateful to share that with you guys. Of course, as usual, I'm going to break down the next 2 weeks ahead. All right. We have quite the schedule. The sun won't exactly be on the North Node until another week and change. But apparently, given its 10-degree orb, this does count as a solar eclipse. So brace yourselves as we enter a most diabolical Piscean portal that, I mean, unless you're a Pisces and you actually have Pisces placements, could you imagine being born with Pisces placements? Like, wow, you're probably going to be the only ones that understand why everything is happening. Fully expect things you could have never imagined to happen. We are stepping out of the old world cycle into the new world cycle. Let me specify: old world cycle carrying forth 1996, the last time Saturn was in Aries, to now. The 1860s, when the Civil War happened, the last time Neptune was in Aries, till now. The 1770s, the last time Pluto was coming out of Capricorn, into now. So our entrance with the Sun conjunct Saturn and Neptune late March is going to appropriately bring us into this new cycle. Shout out to my metal horses. Shout out to Joyce. Shout out to Colby. I know y'all were born 1990. I think we also have 2002. And I think before that we have 1978. Shout out to my horsies, 1966. Yep. So yep, we finna stomp. And other than that, good luck, rats. Apparently rats and horses beef. Fun fact, 6ix9ine snitched in the year of the rat. Other than that, okay, why this is very significant as we press forward, perfectly. And I don't say that as a criticism to him. I'm not from the streets. I don't care if he snitched or not. In fact, if he didn't, I thought that would be stupid as fuck to do. But it is still a fact that he snitched in the year of the rat, and you can't make that shit up. That is hilarious. So yes, fire horse, baby. We make our own luck over here. We finna stomp is Craig, because we finna stomp. Nay, yup. It's finna be a bloodbath. And that being said, I think that is cause for celebration. So yes, we are calling this activating completion of physiological innovation, because what you are seeing here with this new moon, I'm going to bring this back a couple hours here. Well, a couple hours times 3, and then a couple hours times 3 again. There we go, 12 hours. So boom, 28 degrees. We had the new moon at 28 degrees Aquarius. Look at this. This is exemplary right here. Okay. And the reason why this is exemplary is, as you can see, Jupiter is getting ready to go direct at 15 degrees. Saturn and Neptune are at 0 degrees, getting ready to bring in a whole new world order of diabolicalness, diabolicicity. All right. We're just making words up now. And then Uranus is going to go into Gemini. But as you can see, it's 27 degrees Taurus. Now, fun fact, 27 degrees Uranus Taurus. The very last time it was here, America entered World War II. Pause for dramatic effect. All right. So now why this is very significant is when we actually go back in time. All right. Let's go back to why this is significante. Okay. The reason why this is a significante is because, of course, before Uranus went into Gemini, well, we had the sun and Uranus humping each other and having sex in, well, Taurus. This cycle that we are completing now is the completion of the conjunction that we activated May 17th, May 18th, 2025. Uranus entered Taurus 2018, and it entered Aries 2011. Okay, 2010, 2011. So we had innovated our characters from 2011 to 2018. We have innovated our worth and our value and our physical senses 2018 to 2026. And now we're going to innovate our magic of our thoughts and our mind. It's going to get very magical and crazy as fuck. Okay, guys, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. How many of you, I want you to comment crazy. If you've gone on the internet, if you've gone in your real life and you have experienced more unhingedness in the nature of what people are talking about. You've noticed people are just freer to say stuff that was censored before. Obviously, that's a loaded question. But like, if you've noticed there is a substantial level of crazy that you have seen in how freely people say things that normally they would hold back saying, a lot of which was Neptune and Pisces disillusioning and disassociating people to not necessarily even think about how crazy what they're saying is. For all of you who are saying crazy, okay, from a Gemini to you, I'm not a zodiac sign, right? But I'm not going to say I'm not a zodiac sign every time. I'm just going to say from a Gemini, it's shorthand. From a Gemini to you, I sincerely give you my word, okay? You have not seen crazy. You do not know what like if you think what you've seen so far is crazy, let me tell you, you are in for a whole world of cray cray that you are going to get ready to be astounded by. If you think what you've been hearing is crazy, when Uranus proper starts its cycle in Gemini, the next 7 years has something to say to you, okay? If you think Geminis are crazy, all the Geminis that you have ever called crazy in your life are telling other people to hold their beer. We are just getting started. If you think Gemini is crazy, you haven't seen our final forms. It is for this reason that I believe President Trump is the right person to be in office. People are saying that, oh, see, we told you that all these things are going to happen. I told you these things would happen back in 2016 when I told you he was a double agent for the dark side and no one thought he would beat Hillary. Okay. People are talking about policies and that he's I know he's the bad guy. I know he's the bad. We are entering crazy times. The only reason why I think should be in office isn't because of his policies, isn't because he's going to do what he promised. No, it's because he has Uranus in Gemini. And I feel like it's an amazing opportunity to see what peak chaos looks like. That's why he was meant to win. I'm not saying that when I say stuff like this, people think that I'm supporting, people think that I'm giving an endorsement. And more realistically, I'm looking at it outside, looking in, bird's eye view perspective. What the world needs is a villain who's going to push the people to revolt or to do something. If you think he's a bad guy, if you think he's a good guy, then he's going to be in his word. If you think he's a bad guy, then he's going to push people. So that's a concept. It doesn't apply just to the president. I'm just using him as an example. He's one of those figures here. And as Uranus goes into Gemini, you're going to see an exponential increase in quote unquote crazy. Okay. Jupiter is in Cancer. People are super fucking emotional and in their feelings. And when it goes into Leo, late July, August, that emotion is going to turn into rage and drama. And a lot more people are going to be outside than you've ever seen before. Okay. So just getting that out the way. Everything is set in place. And that's where this new moon cycle, as we go through this portal in Pisces, is going to prepare for you to enter a brand new world order. New world order. New world order. So that being said, Illuminati conspiracies aside, even though most of every conspiracy theory has been proven right in the span of less than 3 weeks, go figure. Who was really surprised? You have to be a normie. You have to. I don't like using words as normie or like muggle, but you got to be a normie if you didn't know that this shit was like we weren't right the whole time. But that being said, moment of silence for the conspiracy theories that didn't make the cut. Okay. Who knows? Maybe your time is coming. But that being said, like I mentioned before, all right, shout out to the real ones who were not shocked. We were unfazed. We were like, it's about goddamn time. Okay. In fact, by the time everyone figured it out, we were off that. We were just like, really? Oh, okay. But anyway, that being said, all right. If your rising is what dictates your chart and your life plays out, your rising, to me, that means your rising signs more than anything that your life plays out. Your first house, not any other placement. And that's not a bad idea to think, but everything works in unison. So it's our human ego that likes to pit superiority against inferiority. Oh, this is the most important. That's the most important. Everything is pretty much equally important. You feel me? But I get what you're saying. It's very, people underestimate the significance of the AC, and I do appreciate that comment because it definitely does have its place, and it is very significant, a lot more significant than people really give credit for. So, like we said, since 2018, we had the innovation of our natural senses. From 2026 to 2033, Uranus will be in Gemini. That's going to give time for Saturn to travel from Aries to Cancer. All right. The next 7-year stretch. We have 7-year intervals, especially with Saturn. Okay. So with that being said, we had this final conjunction in Taurus, which is why it's very significant, sextile Saturn. And as we can see, 9 months later, after the opposition, when it started to retrograde, from that conjunction, now we have completed. This 270-degree completion is not just a completion of this year. It's a completion of everything that we have accomplished with this Uranus cycle so far since it even entered Aries. And that's what makes this new moon highly significant, because not only are we activating a new celestial supernatural cycle, and let's really examine this. The moon that is conjuncting the sun and are conjuncting planets that earlier in February, late in July, conjuncted Pluto. So we're activating a supernatural awakening. What's the supernatural awakening? Pluto's awakening, supernatural Aquarius, the Taurus is natural. We had Pluto Mars, we had Sun Mars, we had Pluto Mars, we had Sun Pluto, we had Venus Pluto, we had Mercury Pluto. Okay. All those are shifting into Pisces. The moon entered Pluto again in Aquarius, and now we're activating these cycles going into Pisces. So not only are we activating this new cycle of supernatural awakening that we will have once a year, every late January coming into February for the next 17 years, coming into 2044, 18, 19, it's a 20-year cycle. We did one already last year. So not only are we going to continue to do this every year in increasing degree, but this year's activation features the completion, the 270-degree closing square to Uranus and Taurus. Now, I know that's a lot of jargon. If this is jargon to you, you didn't take my Astro 104. You did not subscribe to my school. You probably didn't take Astro 101, 102, which is crazy because a lot of you have been saying, Peace Dealer, when are you going to have courses? Peace Dealer, when are you going to have courses? When are you going to make the school? I made the courses. Most of you aren't even taking it. Just saying. That shit is kind of crazy. All right, I still got readings. Shout out to those of you who have. I'm not talking about all of you. Shout out to the very few of you. I can count on like 2 hands who have been supporting. All right, albeit I'm not complaining. You guys have supported me for years, so I don't. It's not like I need this, but I'm here to help you. I'm here to help. This is vintage information. If you want to understand this aspect jargon, subscribe and take 104. You can even subscribe for a month, take the course, and unsubscribe. I'm going to continue to add courses, and there's no rush, but I hook it up in that course. Okay, I give you exactly the angles, what to look at, but let me translate this jargon. Okay, this 270-degree square from Uranus to the sun in Aquarius, from Uranus and Taurus, is completing innovation. You are going to, now that we've completed this final breakthrough, bust into an unconventional definition of wealth, especially through the magic dreamlands of Pisces in all of its diabolicalness, as we have passed the magical land of Sagittarianism later at the end of last year. Okay. This is going to rapidly multiply your income. This is going to shift the nature of relationships you come into as Venus has crossed this square point and Mercury has crossed this square point. This is going to take realizations, synchronicities, developments in your life, especially with Uranus and Taurus tied to the innovation of land, especially if you're in real estate. Shout out Joyce. Tied to the definition of new businesses, tied to your wealth, tied to your self-esteem, tied to your natural physical senses. This is going to complete that process as we go through Pisces of experience and change to produce what the experience of that quality from Taurus and Aquarius actually perceives like, what you're going to actually perceive. As we come into the sextile at the end of Pisces season, we'll activate the 300-degree Aquarius signature. And this is going to put you in a position to experience and step forward into these rewards. And that's why that's very important. A lot of people are, or I see people saying, oh, do you feel uninspired? Do you feel like things are delayed? Things aren't delayed. We are closing out a cycle. A lot of people are expecting things to move forward in a period where the movie is over and the cleaners are coming in to clean up the movie room before the next movie. It's needed and necessary to clear all this shit out. And now we've started this new moon. Now we've started this fire horse here. We're revving things up. We're going to go through Delulu land, and then boom, we're going to enter the land of the warriors, Aries, and we're going to rock out with our cocks out. All right. Especially if you're female, you're going to rock out with your cocks out more than ever before. All right. And if you're, I'm sorry, I forgot female is very offensive. I didn't realize how much women hate being called females. And I think it's because of some of the men who kind of ruined it for us. Like some men say female like they're species. Some men will just hit female like derogatory, but I promise you, a lot of other men just use female and male normally. So I just want to keep that in mind. Like, I don't mean anything by that, right? But that being said, especially if you're a woman, if you're a lady, I want you to rock out with your cocks. I want you to take your big fat penis out and smack people in the face with it, and tell them to suck your dick. That is the theme of this 2026, especially if you're a woman. It's no different than other years. But if you are a woman, the theme of this year is to tell people to suck your big fat penis. All right. And that being said, as we break through gender roles that for some reason gained popularity through the 1950s and are dying a miserable death, this is going to prepare for the later generations to now come of age, specifically Gen Z. If you were born from 1995 to 2008, specifically 1995 to 2000, you guys are going to be the first ones coming into your Saturn returns, specifically 1996 to 1998. You guys have Saturn Aries. Shout out to 69 to 71. All right. And yeah, this is going to be very, very forthcoming. And I think the reason why you have a lot to really look forward to here is as we step into these new world themes, a lot of this Pisces season is going to really represent release of old narratives as well as old collective beliefs that don't really apply to this innovation of your understanding of self, the metaphysical understanding of who you are, and the fringe quote unquote theories that exist outside the norm of postmodern materialist reductionist science. Ew. Empiricism. Ew. Empiricism was forced to develop itself out of a miserable, desperate, dark ages where people dick rided faith that wasn't really even real and foregone any kind of medical understanding. And this created a need for people to be desperately empirical because nobody wanted to deal with frauds. And they had to, of course, upgrade the level of science. So for what it's worth, empiricism did have its purpose. We have now strayed so far into empiricism that now we're finding a balance. And I don't want to just throw out quantum mechanics out there, but it is definitely one of the fields that are helping people understand the knowledge of the metaphysical. And of course, I would definitely love to see, especially through the new generation, a pure innovation of metaphysical fields that help us, change the way we even look at the physical. One of which, and I'm not a scientist, I'm just throwing buzzwords I've heard watching video essays on YouTube. But one of the things that I look forward to seeing is the unification of course, quantum mechanics and wait a minute, is it astrophysics? Basically, in trying to find gravity. Okay, I just completely forgot. But apparently, there are two fields that they're not able to make sense how they work together. And yeah, who knows if we'll be able to quantify gravity unless gravity doesn't really exist and it was really just a theory. Anyway, that being said, once again, what we're going to really break down is the next 2 weeks from new moon to full moon. And in really examining the next 2 weeks of these cycles and transits, this is going to very quickly bring you up to speed of how we're no longer playing by the old rules. New levels, new devils. And as we step into a new Saturn authority rule cycle, new rules. Individual liberties and freedoms threatened like never before. Okay. And next 2 weeks finna go crazy. The next 2 weeks finna go delulu. And everything coming into this new world cycle is going to represent things you probably could never imagine. Secrets being revealed that you kind of knew, you just didn't have proof for. And an introduction to magic in a way you might have never really seen explained, or not explained, but expressed before. Magic still is in this box of fantasy. It has the Disney hat on it. When you think magic, you think magic wands and spells. And that's just like 1/16 of the field of magic, especially magic sciences, aka magecraft. And I'm only talking about it because that Pisces. When we talk about Pisces, we have to talk about all that fantasy shit that's not really fantasy, it's just imagination. What Einstein said is greater than knowledge. And if you even think about the theory of relativity, it required an Einsteinian Piscean mind, because in order to come up with that theory, he had to imagine concepts that didn't even exist in his time. That is an application of imagination, a way which and they thought he was retarded. Thank you. They thought he was delulu, and he didn't get everything right, but there's certain things that he got right. That's Pisces. Okay, it closes the reasoning loop. We create a theory. We go back to Gemini and experimentation. We analyze in Virgo. We synthesize and interpret the meaning of analysis in Sagittarius. We then create beliefs relative to that interpretation, and then we do it over again. That is the scientific method explained through mutable signs with astrology. Okay. And yeah, Terrence Howard, another Pisces sun, is a great example. Even though I will never, ever believe that 1 × 1 = 2, I highly respect that he is willing to challenge status quo and kind of, explore different avenues and create patents. I'll never really fault someone for, do it, that's for other people and his colleagues to criticize him on. But that being said, right, I think these are more than just exciting times. These are revolutionary times. And the last thing I want to say, of course, like I was saying before, magic is seen in a certain way. This is going to really shift the way you incorporate the mystical, the metaphysical, the mystery, the magic into your experience. Okay. Especially related to the collective around you, and in preparation for Uranus and Gemini, which is going to innovate the individual way you use words to shift your reality. For those of you who've been practicing the law of assumption, you're going to begin to see results more instantly than ever before, because you've spent time to shift your belief systems, right? A lot of us step into these practices expecting quick fix results, not understanding the inner work necessary to really rewire your mind to get used to thinking in a certain way. So this period is going to be an amazing period for those of you who never gave up on yourself. There's nothing wrong with being discouraged. There's nothing wrong with even losing faith. There's nothing wrong with doubting yourself. There's everything wrong with being a stupid little bitch or a weak little bitch, what Yale and Harvard have called WLB and SLB. See, a lot of people don't know because it was a secret underground study in the 1970s. They examined what it means to be an SLB, a stupid little bitch. And they were able to come out with a lot of very amazing insight. Of course, given the controversial nature of the research, both institutions will deny that they ever did the research, but I was there. Even though I was born in 1990, I was there. I saw them do this. Okay. So yeah, that being said, this is definitely going to take stock of the challenges you've overcome. The whole purpose of Saturn and Pisces was for you to, and shout out to Kenny, appreciate you, was to look at situations that seem impossible, go through situations that test your faith, and be tested on, are you going to give up just because you don't see a way? Are you going to continue to believe in yourself? Are you going to adapt? Are you going to change your strategy? Or are you just going to give up? Okay. And the reason why, which is answered by Pisces, will of course be answered as you are made aware of such coming through Pisces season. All right. Oh my God. So with that being said, as we continue to awaken the collective through Pluto in Aquarius into deep, I don't know if giving up is an option, especially if you Pisces or you have Pisces placements. This is not only preparing for you to come into the results and the rewards of all the work you've done internally, but now as Saturn goes into a yang masculine fire sign and Uranus goes into the air sign of Gemini, a lot of this internal work you've done over the past decade is going to shift external. And it's going to really, reap what you've sowed. Okay. For those of you who wanted others to feel sorry for yourself, you definitely gonna be feeling sorry. For those of you who really picked your pants up and you kept it moving regardless, because the goal is not perfection. The goal is not like to get everything right. I think some of you might have placed yourself on that high expectation. The goal was to keep moving. The goal really was just not to quit. The goal was to shape your belief systems in a way that call out your own, delusions, but also stand for certain unique things you might believe that no one else believes. It's going to be invisible to them. That was a huge theme, right? A lot of what you believe, a lot of what you say doesn't really exist to others. So it's going to look like you're doing nothing. Just like a seed that grows in the ground, they don't see it growing until it breaks through the ground and harvests. You're not here to prove things to others. Now, a lot of other people can say that I'm wrong about that because we have social expectations. I can't just come in here claiming things and not prove them to be real, right? I get that part, but you're not really here to prove shit to people. All right. You're here to be fully and uncompromisingly yourself and to shed everything in the way of that. And that's what this process represented. So as you can see, the moon is currently in Pisces. As it goes over the nodes, this is going to realign with what you're meant to believe. By July, the North Node is going to shift into Aquarius and convert these beliefs into unlocking what we're meant to know. So I'm going to break down, of course, this new moon and first quarter square cycle. Thank you, Goddess Visa Morty. Female is fine with me. I appreciate you. And as we break this down, does this include 12th house? Well, first of all, someone said, what about moon opposite Pluto? I don't know if you mean that natally or by transit. If it's by transit, the moon opposition to Pluto happens very quickly, like once every 28 days. So you're just going to be harvesting a whole lot of the receptivity and subconscious understanding of extreme awakening and how you hold that space relative to other people. If it's natally, you feel things very extremely, and you can sense negativity in a way that can cause distrust. But does this include 12th house? I believe so. I'm not sure what you mean by that. What specifically is the 12th house in question? If you're an Aries rising, for example, this Pisces season will be in your 12th house. But yeah, in the birth chart. Okay, yeah, in the birth chart, moon opposite Pluto is very intense. It's very extreme. You be feeling people hating on you. It's very easy. It's like the conjunction. It's super easy to sense negativity, amongst other things. But yes, the next 2 weeks, we're going to activate this new moon cycle. We've been having new moons at the end of the cycle. It's very interesting. The only season where we had 2 new moons at the beginning and the end of a sign was a Virgo season with the South Node. Very interesting. If not Libra, I believe it was Virgo. So we're having new moons in a birth chart. You probably hate your mom or have at some point. That's a good moon opposite Pluto. It's not necessary, but it can be. It definitely can be. So yeah, but see, moon opposite Pluto's, you guys are, because of that, you guys are without even wanting to, super fucking psychic. Like, it's not like conventional psychic ability where you're reading thoughts and minds. You can literally just sense negativity through minute body language, what people don't do. You can sense negative intentions. It's not like those who don't have it can't. You just do it very extremely. That being said, okay, the activation of the cycle from from new moon to first quarter square is going to bring the sun into Pisces. We're going to have the moon square in Gemini, and it's going to square. I'm going to go on a quick rant. Please, I apologize. I know some of you watch me just to get this insight. I have my Gemini rants. Okay. I don't give a goddamn about somebody who thinks it's weird that you know your zodiac signs. The most illiterate and stupid, ignorant people are out here trying to make you look goofy and silly because you know math, because you know how to read the stars, especially if you're a man. I don't tolerate that shit. This is a field. When people say that astrology is just for women, it's the biggest sign of snitching on yourself. Anytime you ever hear a man say astrology is for women, ask him who Ptolemy is. Okay? Men fell the fuck off. The reason why you see ladies hold this shit down is because at some point men lost this craft. And I'm not talking about all the kings. Some of these kings have been holding it down. There's not enough of us kings here. Ladies have been holding it the fuck down. And the reason why I don't respect that is a lot of ladies get taken advantage of in this field. And you have a lot of fantasy football playing crypto fucking degenerates who feel like astrology is just for women when they need to be real men protecting women in these spaces. We don't have enough men still who understand this shit. Okay? Stupid shit like that. It was men who originally created the system of astrology as it exists now. Ptolemy revolutionized the way we even read natal charts. The Dogons, our ancient ancestors, were able to look at planets that people need telescopes for. All sorts of systems of astrology. This is one of the only few times in human history men will brag about not knowing shit. And that shit is not cool. Yeah, it's funny a little bit. That shit is not fucking cool. The women who come to me getting taken advantage of because some bumblefuck stole their money and they paid them for a fucking subpar reading is because we don't have enough people who are holding it down and protecting women in these spaces. So that shit is not funny, gang. And if you do not know your moon sign or your chart ruler in the big 2026, you're a fucking dum-dum. You're illiterate. Now, I'm not talking about those of you who are ignorant. You might not know your moon sign because you didn't study it, but you believe it exists. You have a willingness to learn. we love you over here. We're talking about those who are willfully ignorant and who feel like it's cool to not know shit. You dumbass motherfuckers. We not going for that. Leave that shit in the old world. Dead ass. It is what it is. Clearly, I'm not talking about all men. We have some very prominent men in this field who also hold it down. And it's not really as much as a problem as it may look. Why are you bragging about not knowing who you are? That's why I will always honor the ladies. When I started doing this, even my YouTube channel, I was like, it was 70% of women watching me, 80, 70%. You ladies have always held me down. Even when I was learning how to do astrology, before I was on the internet, I was outside. I was on campus. I read hundreds of people's charts in person. I know you guys know me from the internet. I was on the field. UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso, 2010, 2011, 2012. I was asking all sorts of people. Most of the men that I would ask would say, that's for the bitches. That's for the women. And it's kind of funny. You ask a man his zodiac sign, this motherfucker will look at you like you hitting on him. What? You trying to know my sign? What the fuck? Which is kind of funny, but very sad. And so I had to ask women. And through this experience, I was able to learn a lot. Of course, as we move forward, a lot more men I have noticed are not just receptive to it, but also very good at it. The men and the women, the males and the females. So I'm not doing this to demonize men. I'm not doing this to say men are the problem. No, men have been holding this field down too for years, but we're not tolerating that shit moving forward. All right, rant over. That being said, okay, the first quarter square we're going to have is coming from the moon coming out of Aquarius, going into Gemini. Then we're going to have the full moon in Virgo from the first quarter square to the moon in Virgo opposite the sun in Pisces. Okay. This is not only an exceptionally magical transit, power is represented by cardinality. Individual Aries, individual Cancer, social Libra, universal / collective Capricorn. Energy and strength is denoted by the fixed signs. Individual natural Taurus, social passionate Leo, social pure Scorpio, universal collective Aquarius. And that leads into magic, aka perspective and change through the mutable signs. Individual thoughts, Gemini, social analysis, criticism, Virgo, universal interpretation, meaning, Sagittarius, and universal dream magic, aka beliefs, metaphysics, Pisces. So as we are at the end of this zodiac cycle, we're not just going through, oh yeah, and then these religious astrology is the devil and zodiac signs are demons. Leave these motherfuckers back in the 2020s, bruh. Leave these dogmatic Bible thumping astrology is evil MFers back in the past. They don't even know how to read their own book. They don't know what the Mazzaroth is. We Gucci. We not tolerating any of that. Do not ever let somebody call you a devil worshiper because you're illiterate. Are you serious? Anyway, being said, bruh. Yes, they like JJK read. They don't read the manga, man. It's just fucking ridiculous. They skip the first fucking chapter in the first fucking book, Genesis 1:14. This shit is hilarious. Anyway, and I'm not talking about all Christians. Some Christians are with the shits. They know their astrology. They don't judge other people dogmatically. I'm talking about those who wear the faith on cosmetically and just use it to feel better than other people because that's literally their identity. Amazing. And it does not apply to just Christians. Scientism, all sorts of shit. That being said, the first week of this cycle is going to bring us this entrance into Pisces season through the North Node with Venus and Mercury that have been transiting through Pisces. Mercury is getting ready to retrograde. Mercury is going to reevaluate all the information and insight we've been processing as we prepare our consciousnesses to perceive in ways you've never perceived before because you have upgraded considerably. And that's where the trine of Jupiter and Cancer is going to really feel its weight. In fact, one thing to keep in mind is that ever since the opposition in Capricorn season of Jupiter and the Sun, Pisces season is bringing the final breakthrough of evolution. So as you can see, we're completing the Uranus cycle. We're finally breaking through the Jupiter cycle. We are completing the Saturn-Neptune cycle. So all of these through Pisces are going to compound for some of the most unconventional development in a short time you could have ever experienced. As Elisha Eternal said, the final fantasy. It's like your dreams are coming true. Okay. And this is where what you have sowed, that shall you reap. Be very mindful of group dynamics. This is why the internal work you've done on yourself is important, because most people don't have a healthy understanding of what power is. Power is used in a hand-twisting way to coerce people. If you don't do what we say, we're going to get a group of people to gang up on you, ostracize you, dox you, make fun of you. And it's only those of you who have you got the cojones. All right. For those of you who want a natal chart reading, I'm going to do a monthly peace report tomorrow. If you want a live reading live, for those of you who want a natal chart reading on 5 stars, 5-star general, click the description box below. Go to www.thepeacedealer.com or etsy.com/thepeacedealer. Links in the description box below. If you're watching on Instagram, it's in my links there. And you can get a reading, baby. If you would like a 30% off discount code, email me at thepeacedealer@gmail.com and I freaking got you. Okay, it's simple. All right. So I highly recommend a transit forecast, or if it's your first time, get a natal chart reading and I will interpret the bejesus out your chart. I'm really like that. I'm really nice. Ask anyone in this chat. I'm pretty good. I'm not going to toot my own horn that much, but you gonna get your money's worth. All right. And that being said, and that's why I mentioned that before, because I have a real life testimonial of a lady who said she almost didn't order from me because she paid other people for a reading and the shit was booty. It was fucking trash. Thank you. I started it again. And she was amazed because I gave her 3 readings and she said back to back to back, purely accurate. Okay. And that's what we do over here. While people act like we're pseudoscientists and frauds, we are pioneering an ancient craft and preserving it for the future generation to carry on forth. Okay. Okay. So with that being said, oh my God, how many times did I say with that being said? And thank you, Angels of Enlightenment. We appreciate you very much so. Okay. So relative to this, shout out to Karen. It's nice to see you, Karen. All right. Don't be surprised if we have her back on. We've been talking about Chericlo, Chiron's wife. So she got some new sauce regarding that. But yes, with that being said, oh my God, I said it again. With that being said, guys, this entrance into Pisces is not just a Pisces season. It's completing what we did Gemini season, Virgo season, and Sagittarius season. It's closing the loop. Okay. And Kamisha, let me know. I'll give you a birthday discount as well. So you definitely hook you up. And yeah, this is going to really bring to a final perspective everything that you have been developing relative to your perspectives, your thoughts in Gemini, your behavior in Virgo, your vision in Sag gets completed by the beliefs. I want you to comment revelation if, and this is vague. I promise this is going to sound like a Barnum statement. It's going to sound vague because it's going to apply to everyone. But I want you to comment revelation if since March of 2025, you have been revealed core facets of your identity and of this belief in yourself. All right. Kamisha, make sure you email me at thepeacedealer@gmail.com and I got you. Okay. If you have been in a position to, pink line me, make sure you email me. I totally got you. Comment revelation if you've received mind-blowing synchronicities about who you are that exist outside of normative understanding. So there's who your parents know you as, there's who the world knows you as, there's who your friends know you as, there's who your society knows you as, and then there's who God knows you as. Substitute God for whatever being represents that for you. You have been revealed who God knows you as. If you are commenting revelation, you have been slowly but surely been revealed your whole life, really. But specifically this year, the final level of this revelation. If you commented revelation, this Pisces season coming out of the new moon in Aquarius is going to deliver that final puzzle piece. In fact, we could even say you have the final puzzle piece. You're going to now come into the full perspective of what this completed puzzle looks like. And the reason why you needed faith to believe in certain of these revelations is because a lot of it may go against the logical framework of what you were taught is real or not, especially in terms of what it means to be human. Some of you might have realized you're an angel. Some of you may have realized you're a fairy, you're a god, you're a goddess. You work directly with certain celestial energies. There's no way this isn't going to sound like science fiction. There's no way in serious circles this isn't going to sound like fantasy, especially in a diluted community where everyone thinks they're the goddess Isis or everyone thinks they're a star seed. There's a lot that's been muddled, right? But you know what you have been revealed. You have receipts that can confirm what you have been revealed, okay? And that's why I'm asking for those of you who are commenting revelation, this is going to take all the revelations that you have received and it's going to smorgasbord, Shang Tzu, put this into perspective. And then you're going to take that perspective and then you're going to move forward with it Aries season through Saturn and Neptune and say, I am. It's no longer going to feel like I believe it. You're going to be more certain than ever. Okay. I know for a fact anyone who may think that I'm a fraud or that I don't really do this, they won't put it on their life. They won't put it on their kids' life. They won't put it on everything. They'd lose their children. They would die. And that's my sense of confidence. Like I said, I don't need an echo chamber. I'll go to your platform in echo chamber. I will read your chart and I will murk you with accuracy. And then you can lie to people and say, oh, that wasn't accurate. And then everything I said will happen later. That being said, smorgasbord of shenaniganery, okay? Before we really go in once again to this Pisces season transit, I very greatly would love to thank each and every single one of you for your support and for everything that you have done to help me build this platform to this level. Do I have 100,000 subscribers? No. Have I made millions of dollars from this? Absolutely not. Am I more popular than other people who do this? There are people who don't even really do proper readings. They just talk about, astrology themes. They are way more successful than me and they worked hard for it. If they did, they earned that. But do I care about that? No. I care about your support. I care about the community that we've built through this, that I fully plan to actually meet through. Okay, I'm going to be I'm going to keep doing this, but I finally start trade school soon. And by May, I'm going to lock down a full-time job working as an electrician, and that'll give me more stable capital. This isn't really as stable as it was like when I was Magic Mike. It will be. This is going to stabilize again. But yeah, I'm going to kind of do that. That stability is going to allow me to do proper meetups, and with that money I'm going to be able to actually, you know, throw events and reach out to you guys. And I want to thank each and every single one of you, that has ever joined the membership. If you have ever purchased a reading, if you have ever given me a testimonial, okay, I am eternally grateful for you. I did this in a period. Oh no, I'm definitely doing day trading. I'm going to start with futures again. I like to trade the S&P 500. Of course, the NASDAQ is a lot more volatile, but yeah, I'm going to get back at that. Shout out to Julian. He's definitely been a really good friend in that corner. But yeah, with that being said, you can go to my Google. If you go to Google Maps and you type in the Peace Dealer, you can add reviews there. Definitely helps. But yes, with that being said, I deeply appreciate you in a period where I was not around people who saw the value in what I do. It was just another thing that I picked up that I probably wasn't going to continue. And I'm still doing it. And not only am I still doing this, I was in a period where even still today, the people in my real life don't necessarily see the value in what I do. They also don't know their chart ruler either. But that being said, right, it was you guys that helped me see that this actually makes a difference in your life. Yes, it came from strangers, but you guys have recognized me in a way that I never thought I could ever be recognized. You guys helped. I'm pulling up his chart right now. You guys helped me understand the value that I had in a way that I didn't even think was possible. So he's a Libra Sun, Taurus Moon, Capricorn rising. He was a Soul Reaper too. Moon, Saturn in a Taurus, and Uranus. Ooh, you guys got to see this. I'm going to show that later. But yeah, that being said, I truly appreciate each and every single one of you. You taught me what value really means. You taught me it's not really in money. Trust me, the money is nice, but I mean, as long as we have this community, right? As long as we have each other, as long as we have each other, what can't we do? And I hate how cliche that sounds, but it has proven to be real for me. And this is really all I need to do. As long as I'm able to do this and rock out with you guys, I consider myself a very wealthy man. Anyway, I know the money is going to come. I'm not really too worried about that. But yeah, I every single one of you that have told me that I've made a difference in your life, it literally means more than the world to me. So I wanted to really share that as this is in my 10th house. And as we leave this old world, I'm committed to just upgrading my quality, upgrading my equipment, putting in more work for you guys. Thank you for your patience with me as far as like producing material and content. I have stuff, of course, in my life that I'm taking care of that I've just kind of put everything on pause. But I do plan to get through all that this year, and then we're hitting the ground running. We're in a whole new zodiac year. Okay. So yeah, that being said, we're going to transit and slip into Pisces. The moon in Pisces right now is giving us a metaphysical understanding, shifting our beliefs into, of course, knowledge that we've activated. And that's where this new moon in Aquarius is activating knowing. You are going to continue to increase upon the knowledge. Thank you, Lady Yara. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I do plan to put in a lot of work into that. And this knowledge is converting into Pisces, knowledge into belief. What is the perspective that shapes what I know and how I perceive what I know? In a final reasoning loop that is going to reveal facets that may seem unbelievable until you remember more of who you are. So, of course, the moon, as it goes into Pisces, will facilitate the sun's entrance into Pisces. And then we're going to have the moon in Aries. Notably, as it crosses through Saturn and Neptune, 0 degrees Aries is a very huge deal. The last time we went through something like this was coming out of May into June. And we're going to revisit that again as things continue to push forward. It'd be very good to go back to June of 2025. What was happening then? These things are going to be revisited. And with Jupiter, that is going to get ready to go direct during Pisces season, it's going to really mark this sense of shifting and change. Now, what we see here is that Mercury and Venus will start to trine Jupiter retrograde. And this is going to link our brain's processing and our heart's beauty and love or pleasure with how we have evolved, what more we can feel. Because it's making that angle as the sun will eventually do. And yeah, I definitely want to purchase the Planet Watcher website. We'll make it a project so that we can actually just, finish his work. But yeah, that angle is going to, of course, facilitate this final breakthrough of evolution relative to your inner world, your feelings, your emotions, but mainly your understanding of yourself and the roots you stand on, your foundation, who you feel you are. And this is going to break through this higher meaningful revelation of what that not only means, but how your imagination is shaping this breakthrough. It's preparing for results, as the squares in Aries will complete the cycle while it's going direct. So this is very beautiful. This is a very magical cycle. And on top of that, of course, magical denoting change. As the moon goes over Neptune and Saturn, you're going to understand the level of integrity needed to apply to your character. So while it was in Pisces, this was integrity over your belief systems. Now that it's in Aries, this is the integrity of your character that is applying what you believe about yourself. And this is going to give you a sneak peek of when the sun will eventually, in a month, make you aware of the brand new contracts that you're going to get ready to sign with the universe. So with that being said, as the moon goes into Aries and sextiles Pluto into Aquarius, it's going to be extending this raw, authentic language of this supernatural awakening quality and how you quite literally, or rather what you quite literally understand, you identify with it. Because this is a Taurus signature, the potency of this moon in Aries is going to drive forward your perspective. Then we're going to have, through the Chiron in Aries, the moon sextile in Taurus, where your body is like a remote control to actually communicate the metaphysical nature of your imagination through your beliefs, or the metaphysical nature of your beliefs through your imagination. The moon in Taurus is going to ground naturally and physiologically the solid quality that will shape and make practical this activation of this new cycle. And that's why this is significant. What does this new moon in Aquarius realistically represent? We've already highlighted how it's a completion of this innovation of Uranus and Taurus, but now we're activating supernatural energy. We're activating this higher knowledge of ourselves and the world universally and collectively around us. So the moon in Taurus is activating an individual grounded understanding of what we're worth, and how that speaks to this emerging Piscean awareness that will ground what we're imagining. We'll start to sense, smell, feel our beliefs. And then, of course, as the moon will go over Uranus, this is not only going to revisit this sense of innovation, right? But of course, with the square to Mars in Aquarius that will get ready to square Mars, it's going to shift with this grounding where you know you must act, what actions you know you must take, and boom, we have the first quarter square. So this is where the 90-degree angle from 6 degrees Pisces to 6 degrees Gemini is going to begin to break through the ground the seeds we've planted. That means from now until a week from now, shout out to Bonnie Jean, we are planting seeds. We're planting divine, well, extraordinary supernatural seeds that now develop divinely, all right, and magically, okay, and metaphysically, and they're going to break through the ground relative to ideas and understanding of how our mindset supports beliefs. Remember, Gemini is your thoughts. You think. What do your thoughts create? Habits, Virgo. What do habits create? Philosophy, a way of life, Sagittarius. And what does your philosophy integrate and create? Beliefs that, in opposition to your habits, form your lifestyle, and the unconscious habits through your beliefs that maintain your habits and lifestyle. So Gemini being 90 degrees from Pisces, okay, is going to represent how your thought process and the way you think is the foundation for your beliefs. This square and first quarter, of course, this 90-degree angle is going to make sure coming into the end of February that the things you're thinking align with what you're believing. If I believe that I'm sexy, but now I'm thinking, oh, but my beard looks weird, and oh, my mustache looks atrocious, and damn, I didn't even line up my hair, and am I really sexy? There's a disconnect. I can't believe I'm sexy and think like someone who's ugly. Unless I'm ugly sexy. But that's not how that works. I have to believe I'm sexy, and I have to think, damn, look at my crusty ass. Wow, I didn't know Dusty can look so good. Yeah, that might sound a little delulu, but we're not at Virgo yet. Virgo gives us that critical, harsh reality check and tells us to brush our beard. That requires hygiene and groom. We're not there yet. We want to make sure that our thinking is aligned with our beliefs. Sagittarius can actually see your thought forms. And Pisces, you can too. That's wild that you actually say that. But that being said, that would be funny if we could see our thought forms. It would change the way we... Elisha, I think you just predicted the future. Imagine if there are apps that now begin to create that. Okay. I think you're onto something there, bro. And I'm not being sarcastic. Like, that's actually, I think that was an uncanny insight, because I wouldn't be surprised if technology actually makes that possible in the weirdest of ways, even if not soon. But as the moon progresses through Gemini, it's going to square Mercury. And what do we know? As the moon squares Mercury, Mercury is going to station in retrograde. This is going to allow Venus to overcome Mercury, and Mercury getting ready to station retrograde. By this point of the first quarter square, you are activating this divine revelation that is bringing into context everything you've been learning. And so the analogy, which isn't the perfect analogy, but the analogy that I want to give is that your brain is processing phenomena that you may have previously believed was not possible in a conventional sense. And now you have to reevaluate everything you've believed in order to account for what you're currently experiencing. And a really good An extreme example of this is levitation, is using Wingardium Leviosa, is using shut the fuck upus, is actually snapping your fingers and something just happening, which is why I said extreme examples. There's also very more grounded examples, but why not be extreme, right? So your brain, if you suddenly if you fart and then you levitate, like, oh my God, I'm levitating. Like, that's going to break your brain. Like, you're going to realize, or something even more impossible, your crush having feelings for you. That's going to blow your brain. You're going to be like, oh my God, it's not just my imagination. Some of you in the chat is like, speak for yourself, peace dealer. I feel you. I'm not going to speak for you. Yes. And you're going to have to reevaluate, wow, a lot of what I didn't think was possible is actually possible. Okay? And this is going to have you shift certain beliefs in order for them to align with what you're currently experiencing, in further alignment with revelations that by this point you're going to actively not only be activating but feeling. All right, then we have the moon in Cancer. Okay, Mercury is now officially begun its retrograde, and as the moon fully expresses your understanding of what you feel to drive forward your feelings, the sun is going to conjunct the North Node. Okay. And the reason why that's very significant is because this is going to be the very last activation of destiny with this awareness that we will have until another 20 years, because then the North Node is going to go into Aquarius by the time we come on the South Node. Okay. So then what we supposed to do with that? Pink limelight, very good question. The Mercury retrograde is going to be actively reevaluating what to believe, because now you're experiencing things maybe you didn't think was possible, or you always knew was possible, but now you're experiencing. So you're going to, of course, just revisit previous information and just replace it. The beauty of the question that you asked, though, is there's nothing to do. If this was Aries season of a cardinal action sign, yes. But in Pisces, there's only what to be. And you want to be. Well, be what, peace dealer? Be. Well, what do I be? Be. And if you don't know what I mean, listen to Common's album, Be. Yes, he was born Pisces season. What if God was a her? Who would know? So with that being said, this is going to shape the nature of your beingness to prepare for you to take action in Aries. Okay. Authentic action. Okay. Be, do, and then have. It doesn't say do, have, and then be. We are made to think you have to do it, you have to get it, and then you can be it. That's not how that works. You have to be it first. Then you do it as being that. Then you have. Okay. Cool. So, of course, with that in mind, that's the reason why our thoughts need to be aligned with our beliefs. Because if our thoughts aren't aligned with our beliefs, then when the moon goes into Cancer and we're supposed to feel emotions that drive forward our beliefs, we're going to be divided in our feelings because your thoughts didn't align with your beliefs. So let that moon in Gemini be as challenging as it's meant to, because it's going to align your thoughts with your beliefs so that you can feel those beliefs forward with the expansion of Jupiter. And that's where we'll have the square to the moon and Saturn, and moon Neptune, Saturn, which will overtake Neptune. And this is what's going to challenge this integrity of self with how you maintain the sincerity of what you feel, while, of course, maintaining integrity. Absolutely, pink limelight. If you were a wife, would you let anybody treat you in a way that is less than desirable, right? And that, of course, prepares you to completely embody what it is you are ready to claim and, of course, step into. What's also beautiful is Mars is making its exact square to Uranus. This might actually unexpectedly produce war. Will it? I hope not. But skirmishes, conflicts, does it have to? No. That's totally speculation on my part. But what do you guys think? I mean, the god of war squaring the planet of innovation and the father of electricity. I can only imagine this is going to complete your action orientation in making a lot more unconventional what you can do relative to that cycle. But the conjunction of the last time the moon will be on a Jupiter retrograde in Cancer in 12 years is occurring during this. And that's where, of course, moving forward, as we now trine the moon to a conjunct Venus and Mercury, Venus is going to begin to polish and overtake what your brain is processing. And that's what's going to smoothen over the process and can be also auspicious. The third great ninja war, Then we're going to have the moon in Leo trine a 1 degree Saturn and Neptune. And that's going to fully not only express the courage and the social integration of your beliefs, but it's going to drive forward this integrity of character on stage, opposite Pluto, right? Where it's in Aquarius, it was in Aquarius a couple of days ago. This is going to be the 2-week breakthrough that's going to prepare you for the full moon. As Mercury continues, of course, with its retrograde and Chiron goes 24 degrees, by the time we step into the full moon, you guessed it, now Mars has entered Pisces, and we are getting ready to harvest an analytical, critical understanding of our beliefs, understanding how our behaviors must match what we believe. And that's why our thought process had to align with our beliefs first, so that now our behaviors and habits can align with our thoughts, which align with our beliefs. Beautiful. Okay. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to prepare us for the breakthrough and completion over the next 2 weeks from, of course, March 3rd, where we will see Jupiter go direct. And this could count as a full moon south nodal eclipse, and also prepare for this portal that's going to shift our perspective in ways that with synchronicities will troll even harder than you could ever imagine. All right. Definitely the calm before the storm. And Heavenly, I appreciate you bringing this up. I'm glad we looked this up. I didn't know Jesse Jackson was having a Uranus return. So that's very symbolic. Saturn, 27 degrees, is exactly on transit Uranus. He has Pluto in his first house, if he really is an Aqua rising. This confirms my theory. So the Saturn opposition theory, it doesn't happen for everyone, but Pop Smoke died when Saturn was opposite his sun, 2020. Young Dolph got shot when Saturn was opposite his sun. Teddy Ray got found dead in a pool when Saturn was opposite his sun in Leo. Tory Lanez got locked up when Saturn was opposite his sun. Young Thug got locked up when Saturn was opposite his sun. Celeste Rivas, Virgo sun, was literally brutally murdered when Saturn was opposite her sun. And that's why I made that video about Netanyahu, about Putin, about any Libras, right? Libra moons like Jay-Z, Virgo moons like Diddy have gone through their judgment. It's Libra suns and Libra moons. So as soon as Saturn the Reaper has entered Aries opposite his Libra sun, Look at that. Neptune, he made a full-on Neptune opposition. And now, because he's Moon Saturn, to me, that's the quality of soul of someone who retains their consciousness after death. Maybe he was meant to die exactly at this period. And that's quite interesting. Okay. I didn't know he was a soul reaper. He actually has a God soul. God denoting ruler. So when I say stuff like that, that it doesn't automatically mean they're perfect or not, but that's a very strong soul. So that being said, look at where he has Pluto, 5 degrees. So he has a Neptune opposition. He has a Pluto opposition. He has a Uranus return. Coincidence? I'll let you be the judge of that. All right. I didn't make any conclusions. I didn't make any point. I'm not really saying anything with that. I'm just stimulating your imagination. I'll let you be the judge of that. Whatever you think that information means, I don't want to infer anything about that, even though I likely did. This is still your conclusion that you're making. Okay. So that being said, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And yeah, with that being said, of course, I just said that again. You guys stay blessed as always. I'm going to resume tomorrow with the monthly peace report so we can talk about Pisces season. And you guys stay blessed as always. I hope you enjoy this new fire horse year. A lot of you were born into this world to prepare for this new world order. Okay. A lot of you have been trained over years for this period of time. And you're getting ready to make it count once and for all. So do not be deterred. Do not be discouraged. New levels, new devils. Your challenges will be stronger. Okay. Where was I the past week? I was here in Vegas. I was really just chilling. Yeah. Just relaxing. Watching my video essays. And the challenges will get stronger, but you've gotten stronger. So show them what you've been trained for. A lot of you were meant to develop your persona and your abilities because they're meant to be used in this new world. A lot of you are meant to lead and guide the new generation. If you were born from 1995 till now, you guys are the most significant equation of this because you're our future and you are quite literally creating the new world that is going to shape where we take what the old generation left for us. Okay. So you guys stay blessed. And until next time, once again, click the link in the description below. You are welcome to join my school. SKOOL is free. You do not have to pay a month to join. Astro 101, 102, 103 is free. Astro 104 and any course after that is exclusive for now. You have more than enough time. Shout out to Maritza Amaya. We did 2 Q&As. They're bi-weekly now. They're amazing. If you'd like to join Q&A sessions, you can. I have my readings available at thepeacedealer@gmail.com. Thepeacedealer@gmail.com is my email, but thepeacedealer.com, etsy.com/thepeacedealer. Okay, shout out to VNA or Vianney. Shout out to those of you who've been ordering reports and readings. I definitely appreciate the support. I am here to serve. Just let me know. And you guys enjoy this new cycle. Peace.